something like that happening.
Mm.
Yeah,
Let me.
I had a coworker do that, Smitty.
So
For the
what is
first,
that? Oh no,
said
go
for
ahead,
the
go ahead,
first
go ahead, go
time.
ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
No,
Then I
no,
got a
said
question. Go ahead.
I had a coworker say that for the first time they said they're actually voting a Democrat. So they were actually Republicans who flipped the Democrat, just to vote this election Democrat. So
But so explain that to me though. So you're a Republican, you vote in the Democratic primary, right? And what does that mean? You have to vote for a Democrat in the election in the general. That
I'm
means
very
you.
confused about that too, because
Yeah.
for us, we're an open primary state, but being an open primary means you just vote in one primary, Republican or Democrat, but then you can vote however the hell you want in
Right.
the general.
That's what I would. That's where I'm confused too. So y'all in Texas, help us out. Thank you, Stephanie, for the follow. I appreciate that.
I'm gonna yield that to Michelle. I'll let her actually explain it. She does a lot better than I do.
Mainly, Marissa says, I think they are both excellent candidates, just with different strengths. I want them both. I appreciate
Okay,
that.
here's an update. 36%. I take that back. I take that back. I had the colors flipped. Houston is breaking for Jasmine. They have two different color blues.
Oh,
Austin went for James Tallarico.
Okay.
Houston so far has gone with 38% of the precincts reporting for Jasmine Crockett. My apologies, Chad. They had the colors. They're two different blues. So yes, Houston is breaking for Jasmine Crockett. So, thank you, Jesus, for my community coming through. Dang, I was about to be really upset.
Yeah, I was going to
uh,
be side-eyeing Houston for a while.
Side eye for real. Like what?
do you see any percentages or no for Harris County?
38% so far, but then it flipped, and then they said 69%. So he could have been talking about individual precincts. John Cornyn is winning, 52.7%. Ken Paxton, 31.4%.
Wow.
Wesley Hunt, 12.5%, with 53% reporting right now. I don't know. In some of these counties, we might have an answer soon, Smitty.
Yeah, Valentino.
Interesting.
So this is
Okay.
going to be interesting because the poll said that Ken Paxton was leading. And I never trusted those polls because I'm telling you, if you are in Texas, nobody likes Ken Paxton. Nobody likes Ken Paxton. So that's going to be interesting. If it's John Cornyn and Jasmine Crockett, I don't know. What do y'all think about that matchup?
I think that's better for the Republicans. I'm not saying she's not going to win, but that's better than Paxton. Definitely.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, I
too.
think both. I think honestly, I think both of them could beat Cornyn if it's Tallarico or Jasmine. We want Jasmine, but see, a lot of us want Jasmine because she's more vocal and she's been standing up for our rights more than anyone else. Tallarico has been silent against all the things that are going on. He's trying to play it safe, and so he's going to be. He's like people. Well, he's more palatable. He's this. He's that. So, and I don't like that card. I think to me that's soft white nationalist talk.
Mm. Okay. All right. I'm gonna take a look here at.
I'm looking up that info on Texas, yeah, because I'm so confused.
Nope, don't look it up. You left us. You live somewhere else. We don't claim you no more.
I didn't leave. I was born here. My grandparents left.
Again, you're East Coast now. You're not Texas, so
Oh my
Uh-oh.
God. You
stay
and
where you're
Greg
at.
both say Indiana's East Coast, and I'm not East Coast. I'm the Midwest.
Okay, well, you stay Midwest. You migrated. Great migration. Bye.
I'm dying. Oh my God. That's so funny.
It really
All right.
was, though.
Pablo Pacheco says Crockett will not win. Case says we're an open primary state. That's why we got Hillary versus Bernie and Trump got elected. All right. So in the chat, for those who voted for Tallarico, we had quite a few of y'all here, which I think is great. What was the number one reason? If you want to put it in the chat that you decided to vote for Tallarico? What do you think? Or please feel free to request. Please feel free to put that in the chat. I'm curious.
Yeah.
And obviously, yeah.
Tell me
Go
why
ahead,
you're
Catalina.
anti-black and a misogynist. I'm just kidding. I'll be nice. I'm gonna be nice.
I love Tallarico and Crockett, but I'm not in Texas.
Hey, and just to let y'all know, Jasmine's a fine cookie in person.
I believe it.
Okay, let's see here. Texas results.
Sorry, y'all. I'm munching. I just made some bomb flautas de pollo
Wow.
and homemade salsa and homemade curtido.
What's going on, Auntie? How are you? Good to see you. Crockett
You
is
don't know how to make no
overly
salsa no
qualified.
more.
That's
You live in the
right.
Midwest. Yeah. In fact, you don't even have a salsa card anymore.
Do you have any idea how many Mexicans are in the Midwest? We run everything here.
Again, but your sauce is not the same. So turn in your card.
It is because I make it homemade.
I make mine homemade too, but you need to turn in your card. So just
I can't stand
no.
you. I'm gonna come. When I come down to visit my family in San Antonio, I'm gonna come fight you, Lloyd.
Look, look. My salsa, I make salsa better than you. I make guacamole better than you. I make,
Oh,
like I
absolutely
said,
not.
just look.
I'm
This
staying
black
out of this
man
debate.
can
Definitely staying out of this
this
debate.
black man can make Mexican food better than you. So just stop it. Stop it.
You know what? I will be down there at some point this year, and it will be a cook-off. Watch.
Haven't you been like Indianized? You're up there in Indiana.
I'm
You're up
telling
there.
you, it's incredibly Mexican here, like super Mexican. And my
No,
grandmother was straight
no,
from.
no, not more than it is here. Okay.
Yes, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because a lot of my cousins in Texas can't even speak Spanish, and it drives me nuts. And they eat a Texas version of Mexican food sometimes. Like I was taught, like half of my family is from Texas, but my grandmother was straight from Mexico, and she taught me how to do everything de mano, like old school.
Okay, so you know where I grew up, right? I grew up in San Diego, like right next to Tijuana, Imperial Beach. All right. So I'm telling you, I had an avocado tree in my backyard.
I
I
believe
grew
you.
up making salsa.
I had one on
Boy,
our
you better leave
patio.
her alone. She was taught by her grandmama now. Now, come on now. You know how we do in our community.
Let me
Grandmama
tell you though,
wins now.
here's how I'm really gonna start a fight. It's not Texas or California that has the best Mexican food
Hey,
in the country. It's
Catalina.
Chicago.
Mary says, "Who the hell leaves Texas for Indiana? I left Indiana as soon as I graduated." Oop.
Migrant workers. My grandparents were migrant workers, y'all.
Mm.
But no, Chicago has the best Mexican food in the country because it has the most diverse.
You're
I
lucky I'm not a
promise you.
mod. You're lucky I'm not a mod. I dropped
Boy,
you.
Catalina. Whoa, wait a minute. You saying that to somebody? You saying that to somebody from LA? Now, come on.
I promise, and I'm gonna tell you.
Come on.
I told you we're taking.
her?
Hey, look, I told you. Hey, we're taking every single one of her cards tonight. She's just giving them up. She's just giving them up for free.
Who muted Catalina? Oh, that's cool. That's a
Ain't
first.
right, y'all ain't right. Listen, no, let me tell you something real quick. I'm gonna tell you why. People who are in California generally come from a certain area. People who are in Texas usually come from a certain area. People in Chicago come from all parts of Mexico. And I'm saying my family's from Texas. I've been to Cali. Noah, you crazy. But Chicago is my second home, and I'm telling you, the diversity of Mexican food there is unmatched. And like the best gorditas de nopales, and I'm an indigenous Mexican, so I eat nopales like 3 times a week. The best gorditas de nopales I've ever had in my life are on 26th Street.
No flag for
in
misinformation.
Chicago.
No, the best carne asada is in San Diego. Period.
Yes.
The best carne asada is in San Diego.
That
I
I
don't care
agree.
anybody say.
So,
When I came here to San Antonio, I had a carne asada taco. No, they don't have carne asada burritos. I had a carne asada taco, and I almost spit it up.
All right, where are my Chicago people in the chat? Because y'all can't leave me hanging like this.
I'm
What's
telling you,
going
you
on,
ain't got
Erica?
HEB. You ain't got HEB, so there's that.
Hold on, y'all, real quick.
Me
Let
and
me
Lloyd
That's
win.
true.
hold on, y'all. Let me welcome the new panelist. Kent, how are you this evening? Kent, are you there? Kent, are you there? All right, Kent, I think you might have requested by accident, so I'm gonna drop you. We can go back to our food debate. Kent, all right, we're gonna let Kent go.
Y'all ain't got HEB. Remember, right, Lloyd?
That's
We
right.
don't have HEB. You
If,
right,
Tell them
but we
about
if
got.
you don't have
HEB.
HEB, you
I
lost
only
because
Tell
go
them
our
to
about
stuff is
Mexican
HEB,
fresh.
stores,
baby.
y'all.
That's right. I have I can throw a rock at an HEB going to my left and throw a rock at an HEB going to my right. So if
I
you
just
have
know
came
an
from
what?
HEB,
HEB.
that's right.
All right, hold on,
I
y'all.
can
Hold on,
throw a
hold
rock.
on, hold on, y'all. Hold on,
All right.
hold on. Let's hold on, y'all. Let's bring in Ablo Pacheco. What do you think about the Texas primary? Who do you think is going to win tonight?
Right now, from what I'm seeing, according to Timcast, they've already called it for Tallarico.
Really?
Uh,
Where's that?
this is
According to
according
who?
to Tim. This is according to Timcast News.
Yeah.
But right now, I don't know. But had I not seen that, I thought it was going to be very, very close. I'm in South Texas.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in the Rio Grande Valley,
Okay.
and it's very close between him and Jasmine. But I'll
Mm-hmm.
be quite honest, not too many people are. As weird as this is, not too many people are interested in either of them down here.
Oh,
Uh,
really? Is it
yeah,
more Republican? Is that why?
Yeah, Valley's
no, South
Republican.
Texas. No, actually, South Texas, Cameron County, where I'm at, Williamson
Mm-hmm.
County, Hidalgo County, Starr County, Zapata County. That's all Democrat. Any of the counties south of San Antonio, so Brooks
Okay.
County, parts of Jim Wells County, that's all Democrat. In
Okay.
Why
that
is it when I'm
regard.
down there in McAllen, all I see is Trump flags and everything else? Help me
Well,
out.
that it depends on the part of McAllen that you go to in that regards. Now there are changes because under the Biden regime, the Rio Grande Valley received their first Republican. That was Mayra Flores, and the last time that a Republican won this district was 1861.
Wow. I mean, that
Yes,
sounds
since the
pretty
Civil
Democrat to
War.
me.
Yeah,
Okay,
Um,
you know where FAR is, like FAR, Alamo, and all that stuff.
yeah. I live 45 minutes from far.
Okay, so right there, FAR, Alamo,
Hang
McAllen.
tight. Can we go back to where he just said regime?
oh,
Can
hold on,
we
y'all.
like?
No debates
All
tonight, y'all. No
right, all right.
debates. No debates. But let me ask you a question, Ablo. From everything I've read, the Latino vote has surged in Texas overall.
Yes,
Who do you, just from your perspective, who do you think that benefits more, Tallarico or Crockett?
neither. That's the thing.
Okay, so you think it'll be even?
Yeah, well, down here it's an even split. In Houston, and East. So Houston, shoot, Port Arthur, Weenie, Beaumont, all the way to the Texas-Louisiana line. It would skew the Latino vote would skew more toward Crockett,
Okay.
but that's because of that's because of name recognition out there.
Interesting. Okay. Okay.
Plus, real quick, plus Jasmine Crockett has a law office in Houston, so that's another thing.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. Okay. So you think the Latino surge is more so pushing the Republican numbers up then? Because if you're saying that, they're not necessarily interested in both, but there's a surge, they have to be voting for somebody.
Well, they're voting for somebody, but I
Mm-hmm.
think that's why it's not. Well, it's not affecting the Republicans. I mean, even though I
Mm.
voted in the I voted on the Republican ticket today. But the thing
Okay.
is it's more pushing. It's the reason why Tallarico and Jasmine Crockett were in a statistical dead heat for almost 3 weeks.
Interesting. Okay. And who do you think is going to win the Republican? Let me mute. Who do you think is going to win the Republican primary? You think it's going to be Cornyn or Ken Paxton or Wesley Hunt? Who do you think is going to win?
Well, according to you and according to a lot of other people that I'm looking at right now, it looks like Cornyn's kicking Paxton's butt right now, even though I
Yep.
don't want that to happen. So we'll see what happens in that regards. But if the numbers come in the way that they're coming in, I think Cornyn might actually win. The other race I'm paying attention to is District 23, which is San Antonio.
Okay.
That's Brandon Herrera, and I'm a gun guy, so I watch his YouTube videos before he got into politics. And
Okay.
there was a gentleman by the name of Sanchez, and Sanchez, he pulled a Joe Scarborough. If you know exactly what happened with Joe
Pedro, thank
Scarborough
you.
and the
Oh
intern,
yeah, Joe
Appreciate you,
Scarborough
fam.
became a decent human being. That's what you mean. Yeah.
what he did with an intern, basically. Well, Sanchez, it was basically a carbon copy of that, and it looks like he's still winning, which surprises me because it's literally a carbon copy. The intern with Sanchez is no longer with us. And I mean, it's close, but it looks like Sanchez might actually edge Brandon Herrera out. So we'll see what
Wow.
happens.
Let's get some Win Pedros in the chat. Pedro, I love you, brother. Thank you so much, as
Love you,
always.
Pedro.
Thank you, Pedro. I appreciate you so much.
Pedro.
All right. This is interesting.
Appreciate
I
you.
appreciate your perspective, man. This is very interesting. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
Yeah, no. So, Catalina, go ahead. If you want, did you want to ask Abdo a question?
Well, I think he answered it for me. Can I get some coconuts in the chat? Just for no other reason other than I love coconuts. Just, just saying.
What I will say is South Texas Mexican food. So anywhere from McAllen, Far, Brownsville, and then of course Tamaulipan and Nuevo Leon Mexican
Now,
food.
man, we can't
Man.
No,
trust you. You
stop,
vote for
stop.
Republicans. We
Hey,
can't
no,
trust
I'm
you
no,
with
so-
Mexican food.
no. That's not no. Again, no. There's no
That
better
does,
Mexican food than San Diego. Okay.
No. San Diego. I had a San Diego burrito, and I had a burrito from Baja California, Tijuana, and
Mhm.
Ensenadas, I think it is.
Burrito is not
No, I'm
Mexican.
sorry. The tacos de pastor, los tamales veracruzanos. I'm sorry. They put any food out in the West Coast to shame. And if it's not as good, it's because you bought it from somebody that don't know how to cook it.
Pablo, I have a question
Look,
for you.
again, I have a son down there, and the Mexican food down there is whack. Period.
I have a
No.
question for
Lloyd
you,
on
Pablo.
that.
The only thing I like, the only thing I like down there is the mojadas. That's it.
So let's let Nichelle come in. Nichelle's got a question. Go ahead, Nichelle.
I have a question for you, and I do appreciate your perspective as well. And you don't have to tell me who you voted for, but please tell me that you voted during the primary.
He did.
I
I think he
voted
said he
today.
voted.
Yeah, I voted
Oh,
today.
good. Okay, good. I
He already
appreciate that.
basically said he wants Paxton to win.
I don't think I'm gonna get that wish though. That's
Wait,
the thing.
what?
Nichelle, this is what I'm saying. Don't trust a man like this on Mexican food.
It's okay. I can handle this.
This is weird.
But seriously, as a
Because of my
Texan-
politics, I don't. My
No.
taste in food is.
Yep.
Well, it
Tonight
might
we
be
can
because I'm
have-
Puerto Rican as well.
Okay.
I don't know.
It's okay. Tonight we can
Wait,
have
you're Puerto
a
Rican?
friendly-
Yeah, I'm
Okay,
done.
hold on, y'all. Hold on. Let's let Nichelle get her question in. Let's let Nichelle get her question. Go ahead,
Well,
Nichelle.
Yeah. I did ask my question, and I am curious though. As a Texan, Paxton is pretty well disliked here. I'm just curious, what is it that you see in Paxton that you would want him to be the Republican nominee for Senate?
Paxton's
Well,
on
we-
everybody's child support payments. That's why I don't like him.
I mean, he's universally disliked by Republicans, moderates, independents, progressives alike. I'm just really curious.
Which
As
is why
to
I
why-
like him. If everybody hates somebody, pardon my language, then I'm gonna vote for. Then I'll go for that particular person. I'm not the type of guy. And a lot of people that are in my circles, they're the same way. So when you're seeing the news bash somebody, and I think he got indicted. He got indicted in Collin County.
He did.
And that indictment got quashed. So when I see all of that happening, the same thing happened with Tom DeLay. The same thing happened with Henry Cuellar down here in South Texas near Laredo. When that happens, then at that point I know that that's the go-to guy because he's going to vote. He's going to take care of business that are not necessarily in the interest of the Democrats, but on the flip side of it, he's not going to take care of business that is in the interest of the Republicans at the same time. And I would rather somebody that's looking at the interest from a 360-degree point of view versus somebody that's just going to close ranks.
Can I ask
Interesting.
a
So-
question? Go ahead, Nichelle.
Hold
I'll
on,
wait.
sorry. Yeah, sorry. Again, I'm speaking as a fellow Texan here. What are your thoughts then, because you supported Paxton? Because I've seen some interesting interviews, and again, we're having friendly conversation tonight. I do not have the energy to argue or do anything like that. I'm
Me
just
either. I'm
curious.
just as tired. So
No, yeah. No, I appreciate you coming up and hanging out with us. I really do. So given how you feel about Paxton, and it looks like Cornyn is probably going to be the Republican nominee, there were some people that did not like Cornyn because he broke kind of from the standard run of the mill MAGA support and talking points. And I saw some interviews who said, which kind of surprised me, that they were voting for Paxton as well because of that. How do you feel about Cornyn?
Well, Cornyn, it's not a anti-MAGA thing for me. The issue with Cornyn for myself is certain principles, certain ideals that he wanted to get across that in my honest opinion, violate. Well, it's my opinion, but I think that they violate the Constitution. And so when he promoted HATE speech, I don't know whether I can say that or not. I don't want your channel to get.
Thank you.
You can say it.
Yeah, the thing is he was all for, and this affects my profession. He was all for allowing people into this country that would talk smack about the United States. That's fine. However, anybody that talked smack about a certain other country that shall remain nameless, would have their visas revoked. And in my honest opinion, that to me is a problem. As the Seventh Circuit said, this is, Ohio, that area, Michigan, that area. They said, you know what, HATE speech is free speech, especially the speech that you HATE, as long as it doesn't fall within the 6 purviews of
Thank you, B.
unprotected speech.
Appreciate you.
So, when
I just
Corn,
want to wait. I want to make sure I
real
understand
quick,
you. No, I'm sorry. I just want to make sure I'm following you, though. So you're saying that Cornyn was pro letting people who were allegedly anti-American say things, but against people saying things against the blue and white country?
that was one of the things, but the point that I'm making behind that, and that's where I was going to land the plane, as you guys call it, was that he's basically for restricting free speech, and that after going to law school, I fell in love with our Constitution, and I don't like it when anybody, whether Republican or Democrat, espouses views or promotes views that would restrict the Constitution in the way that we have it right now. And so when you're not allowing people to talk their views about a certain country that again shall remain nameless, yet people can come here and burn the American flag, which it's also deemed protected speech, that I have a problem with.
Okay. That's a very interesting sentiment. I have a question, and I promise you I'm being genuine with this. I'm not trying to be funny. You said you're Puerto Rican, right?
Well, my mom's black, my father's Puerto Rican.
Oh my goodness. Oh gracious.
I'm the best of 2 worlds.
Okay. Oh God. The Puerto Rican side, are you a white Puerto Rican, a black Puerto Rican, a triennial? Like what the Puerto Rican side, like what? Indigenous, like which one?
More my family,
your mom, like what would your mom present
my
as?
family, well, real quick, my family, the Pachecos, it's a rainbow of colors. So there are people that have that.
I know, sir. I want to know what your mother would present as. Does she present as a white Puerto Rican, a black Puerto Rican, or like a triennial or an Indian?
My mom's not Puerto Rican. My father is.
Oh, I'm sorry, your father. Your father, my bad.
My father, it's weird. My father, he considers himself black Puerto Rican, which makes sense, going when we trace the lineage of my grandfather and my grandmother. But again, my family, on that side, it's huge. We have people that are, not to sound rude, but that are dark, like midnight dark, and we have people that have fair skin.
Okay. I don't want to go down that route. Okay, so the only reason I'm asking is because I personally have an issue with the vote for Latinos having Hispanics be counted in that, and I'm trying to decipher, I would really prefer if that was broken down racially, because I don't think it's fair for white Hispanics to influence or represent the vote of Black and Indigenous Latinos, except for you seem to be one of the ones. Do you come from a Republican family?
No.
Okay.
So
what happened?
Texas, go ahead, Kathleen. I got a question. Go ahead.
Yeah. I just wanted I'm just curious as to what happened, because I didn't think that it would be that way.
Well, to finish answering your question real quick, here in Texas, it's broken down the way that you propose it. Here in Texas, you on the survey portion, you have the first thing, which is ethnicity. Are you Hispanic or Latino? And then under that, there's the definition: you're of Mexican, Puerto Rican, or Central American descent, right? And then after that, what is your race? And so, because my mother's Black, so I check off on race Black. And then under ethnicity, I always check off Hispanic or Latino.
Yeah. No.
So real quick,
yeah, you're good. I'm landing. I just was saying I'm talking about when it comes to the vote, those all get lumped in together. But yeah, I was just curious. Thank you.
Okay, so real quick, I just want to know what you guys think about this. Galveston County, where'd it go? Galveston County, 65.6% in. Tallarico is up 50.3%. Jasmine Crockett, 48.5%. Now, Galveston, can y'all tell me about Galveston County? Is that mostly white, Latino, Black? Because I like analyzing the counties that are pretty dead even. Those, to me, tend to be the ones that will tend to tell you which way the entire race is going. But do y'all know the demographics of Galveston County?
Mostly white, blue collar, mostly white oil refinery workers in
Yep.
Galveston.
Yep.
Okay, well that's
I
interesting.
will nail that.
I have a
Hold on, I'll be
question.
right back, guys. 1 second.
I have a question for you up there. You said you fell in love with the Constitution and you're against flag burning.
No, that's not what I said. No.
Okay, I thought you said something about flag burning that you would
No,
say
I was
that's not free speech.
analogizing the fact that you can allow flag burning, which is protected, but if you talk about a certain country that shall remain nameless, they want you to get in trouble for that, and that I have a problem with.
Okay, all right. I just had to get clear on that. I appreciate it.
In the legal field, Ablo?
Yes, I do.
Got it.
I think
That's
ironically,
my background. That's my background as well. I'm sorry, real quick, Carolina. So,
Oh, go ahead.
yeah, Galveston is interesting, Smitty, and I'd love to hear what y'all's thoughts are about it. It is blue collar refinery, but Galveston is where like Juneteenth. There's some deep roots there for the Black community as well. That was the city that it was the last city in Texas to those slaves to be freed. So you do have some remnants of the Black community there. But you said it's basically in a statistical dead heat.
Yep.
Interesting. That's interesting.
Yeah, you're
Well, that's
absolutely
because
right.
Galveston. Well, that's because Galveston is more like a tourist town. If you ever like go down to Galveston and you'll see you don't, like I said, you won't see like a big concentration of Black people on Galveston Island. You'll see more tourists coming through Galveston than anything else.
Agreed, 1000%.
Yeah, plus that's where those cruise ships are. Any of the cruise ships that are going down to Campeche, Mexico, or to Honduras, they dock at Galveston.
Yeah, Galveston is about 55% white, about 13 to 14% Black, and about 20% Latino.
Interesting. Okay, and it's in a dead heat. That sounds like that might be good for Jasmine potentially.
It could
Yeah,
be,
Galveston's more like a suburb of Houston.
but 55% white.
Yeah. Again, it's going to boil down to two fundamental things here, right? It's going to boil down to the Latino vote, 1000%. Which way are they going to break? Or you're going to see people who say, well, three things it's going to be I'm either for the candidate 1000% because I align with their policies, blah 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 blah, or you're going to have people say, I really love Jasmine Crockett. I think she's amazing. I wish we could have them both, but I think that Tallarico will win in Texas, which is kind of a moot point because she's a congresswoman. She's already won in Texas, right? So there's going to be some nuance and some layers to that conversation. But all of the analysts are looking at which way the Latino vote is going to break for this election. The other interesting thing is, Smitty, if we do end up in a statistical dead heat and there needs to be a runoff, that's going to be really interesting.
What I'm looking at right now, they just updated. So Paxton is getting closer to Cornyn. Cornyn's at 42.9%. This is overall. Paxton is at 40.5. Tallarico's still leading with 53 over 45.8. Both are too early to call, obviously. This also is not a huge factor. However, it has been significant for the area. As we get closer to El Paso closing, there are more indigenous populations over there because that's right below my tribal reservation, the Mescalero. And indigenous people in Texas have historically gone Democrat and more progressive.
Interesting. So let's see here real quick.
I'm sorry.
Give me 1 second. I'm like, yeah, no, you're good. Madi says, I know my Latino peep in both of my counties are more than likely against Crockett. Interesting. Joe says, Jasmine is such a strong, knowledgeable person. All right. I wish Texas would do ranked voting, Tony says.
Oh, heck no.
Declutter says, is today the last day for voting before November elections? Yes, it is. I just want to read some more tend to read more of the chat, but today I've been looking at my data here on my computer. Okay, go ahead.
Tess of the Irish just said my county is 71% Jasmine Crockett with 55% counted. I just asked her which county. I think she just messaged Ellis County. Interesting. Okay, wait. Where's Ellis? Let me look.
Bayhart County is pissing me off, Lloyd.
So Harris
So
County. So real quick,
why
Harris
are you pissing
County,
you off?
65% in. Jasmine Crockett has about a 17,000 vote lead. So 53.6% Jasmine Crockett, 45.5% James Tallarico, and Harris County,
Hold up.
65%
Is
in.
that Harris County? Is
Yep.
that Harris County?
Yes.
Harris County.
Oh my! Listen, they said at the beginning of this, how Harris County goes is how Texas is gonna go.
Yeah, but
Oh my God,
No,
Tiff!
that- yeah, but she's still down 40,000
Thank you.
votes. I don't understand that.
Thank you. Where's Nightmare?
Well, you have all of the other rural counties around
Appreciate
around
you.
Harris
Thank you.
County that are showing up. But
Yeah,
if it's
I'm
of any
trying to-
solace, it looks. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead, Ablo. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, sir. I was just going to say, if it's of any consolence to everybody, then Dan Crenshaw looks like with 60% of the votes coming in for his district in Houston is out.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
Nichelle,
Okay.
Harris County, she's up pretty significantly.
Y'all, excuse listen, I know some of y'all are Tallarico voters. I'm just saying, the analysts who were looking at this, who do this for a living, said, as Harris County goes, so goes Texas. So that's all I'm responding to. That's all I'm responding to.
She's doing great in Eastern Texas, I'll say that. Ablo, were you gonna ask me a question?
I was just going to ask if you were a dual citizen, if you were a dual U.S. Mexican citizen.
No.
Because that tribe has that tribe qualified for citizenship in both countries. That's why I was asking.
No. My grandfather was. I'm an enrolled citizen of the Lipan Apache, and then I'm Mescalero and Purepecha descent. So that's
okay.
why.
So you're not an enrolled member of that specific tribe then?
No, I'm enrolled in the other Apache tribe.
Got you. Okay.
So overall, state of Texas, 43% is reporting. If we put all of the counties in, Corning is still up 42.8%. Paxton is closing the lead at 40.6. Wesley Hunt is reporting it at 13.1. And then overall Texas so far, Tallarico is still in the lead.
Let's see. Let me take a look here.
I don't know about Nichelle, but I am mad at all you Tallarico voters. I am mad at y'all.
Well, but remember, Dallas County hasn't reported at all.
Right.
So he's got,
For a while.
So yeah,
And
that's where she's
me?
from. That's where
Is
she's
it me
from.
or-
Jess is at a watch party up there, Smitty,
right.
on the ground. Yeah, so that's
So
where she's from.
I wouldn't react to these numbers yet until Dallas County reports.
Agreed.
But I have a
Agreed.
question though. I haven't, for some reason, maybe it's just me, but I haven't even heard of Tallarico until this race.
Yep.
Yeah. And listen, I'm careful. Listen, as a Texan who feels deeply, deeply for my state, look, I literally just got goosebumps. I have withheld any, I've critiqued both campaigns and both candidates. I've said from the very beginning that I want them to run their race. But whoever wins is who I'm voting for in November. And I did not want to see a repeat of some of the outside influence coming in to influence people who, for whatever reason, chose not to vote. In 2024, there were over 90 million people who were eligible to vote and chose not to vote. And that deeply concerns me. And I'm holding back, me personally, and I know a lot of Texans feel this way, about overly criticizing Tallarico, because God forbid he win, that's who I'm going to be voting for in November, because it's that serious here in Texas. I can't stress enough how that it's that serious here in Texas. Sorry, Smitty, go ahead.
Yeah, real quick. Tess says 9 p.m. Dallas County closes. It's going to be at minimum 15 to 30 minutes before any reporting. Yeah, exactly. So you got another 25 minutes plus another probably 30 minutes, so probably another hour before we'll know anything out of Dallas County. So yeah, I wouldn't, if you're wanting really either, whoever you want to win, I wouldn't get too excited one way or the other until Dallas County starts to come in.
Sir, you not going to dash my hopes? I'm just playing.
Nichelle, I have a question
that's a
for you.
good thing if you're
I'm
looking at the numbers.
teasing you. I'm teasing you. I'm teasing.
I really
We did
hope
it.
Nichelle's theory on
Nichelle,
Harris County pulls through.
but Nichelle, I have a question for you, and I understand the sentiment, and I'm with you on that. But for a person who's basically to me like a dark horse, right? Like we're just finding out who this person is. It's just we've seen a lot where a person like a dark horse like him, or where we never seen this person like stand on their morals. They just come out right now and say this is what they're about. A lot of them become like turncoats once they get in. Um, I'm with you too. Yeah, we'll end up going for him if he does win. Yeah, we're gonna vote for him. But who's to say that he's really for our best interest, because he doesn't have a track record of being, really down for us like Crockett has.
Oh, by the
That's a
way,
great.
oh,
Oh, sorry.
let me just say something real quick in the show. That absolutely come in. If you support Tallarico and you want to kind of provide some color for the panel, please feel free to request. Absolutely, we'll have you up. Go ahead, Michelle. Go ahead.
So this is a great question. This is one of my favorite questions ever. And Black Girls Who Brunch went over this. Courthouse Couture went over this. I am 1000% behind Jasmine Crockett,
Yes,
right?
thank you.
But I've seen a lot of people like overly drag, in my opinion, James Tallarico, and I would politely remind them, like, hey, if there's a runoff or if he ends up winning, the primary, we're all going to be looking kind of ridiculous that we dragged him so bad in support of Jasmine Crockett, only to say that, especially if you live in Texas, we damn for sure are not going to sit out, and we damn for sure are not going to vote for a Republican side, right? To your point, though, yes, he rose to national attention. I live here in Austin, so I kind of watched it locally because of the fact that he was, a Christian, and he was calling BS on these MAGA Christians, these white Christian nationalists, right? Who claim to, serve God and all these other things, and he would kind of put it in their face. He's really kind of known around here for pushing back on this whole idea of the Ten Commandments being, in schools, right? So that's kind of what elevated him, if you will. I agree with you. I'm very concerned about him turning. I'm very concerned. If anybody watched the debate, I don't know if you watched the debate. I'm sure you did, Lloyd. I didn't like his answers. I didn't think his answers were strong. I thought Jasmine had a plan, and he was more like, "Hey, will you impeach Trump? Well, if it's in front of me, I'll consider it. Well, what do you think about, ICE? And well, if something's in front of me, I'll consider it. I think, you know what I mean. So that is a very weak-minded answer, in my
Right.
opinion. I think Jasmine Crockett is a stronger candidate for Texas. I think she had plans. She talked about AI. She talked about the environment. Anybody knows about our grid here? We've got problems with infrastructure. She seemed to have plans. So to answer your question, yeah, of course, that's always a concern, right? Especially because knowing that he was the underdog in this race, he should have been more prepared with plans, right? But yeah, that's always a risk.
Well, to me, it seems like he's a Christian with no convictions.
Well, if I could push back real quick, what he did, and this would actually, if it came to November, this would bring people like myself over to the fold, is he actually talked about things in that debate that, needed to happen at that particular moment. And I'll be quite honest, the topic du jour, so to speak, that's how the Blue Dog Democrats of times past would speak rather. And so, when they brought up ICE, for example, and what he did perfectly was he quoted the law on that wonderfully. And the other thing is he quoted the restrictions that the president has. And then when it came to impeachment, the other thing, and this is something that would bring people like myself over, was, okay, well, if we have other things that we have to deal with in Congress and you're impeaching the president and we know that the Senate's not going to convict him, then we're just wasting our time. I'm paraphrasing, right? And that type of answer, like I said, if Cornyn or Paxton were to have these political gaps that a lot of people seem to have, we're a long way from November, then as a result, you would have a moderate, somebody that's center, that would actually lean to your guys' side. In that
Real quick, y'all. So it's Beretta says James Tallarico showed his plans way before Jasmine did. So I don't know if y'all want to talk about that piece.
That's been debunked. They're talking about the issues page. That's not true. They and by the way, their issues are so incredibly similar. It begs, right? It begs why you would prefer Tallarico over Jasmine Crockett, right? One is a white cis male, and the other one is a brown skinned, very opinionated and passionate Black woman, right? I'm not saying that that's why, but that I'm not saying that person who made that comment is saying that. But yeah, we've all who's been in this space, we've all gone back and forth about who had their issues page up first. I mean, James Tallarico copied stuff from a Michigan candidate and forgot that the program that the person had in Michigan wasn't even in Texas. And there were some social media influencers that called that out, and James Tallarico had to change it. So listen, we can go back and forth about that. That's over with now because election night is done. But I will say, to Ablo's point, it's very interesting that you said that would bring more people over to the fold. This is something that we analyzed quite a bit. Those of us who had done lives and stuff about this, about their campaign strategies. Jasmine Crockett chose to go after Democrats, right? Like a Democrat would want another Democrat candidate to go. James Tallarico's strategy, in my opinion, I thought it would be a failed one, was to go after center-right moderates or disenfranchised MAGA, right? So I think it's really interesting that you were saying that should this have been the November election and he was speaking this way and it was against Cornyn or Paxton, that might bring people like you over to the fold and vote for him. So that was his strategy, by the way. That's what he did.
Republican gaffe. If there are Republican gaffes, and there seems to be a lot of them these days, then that would bring the moderates over. And it's a good strategy because, 30 years ago, Bill Clinton did that. Bill Clinton did that when Ross Perot dropped out in 1992. And, as a result, he beat George H.W. Bush for the presidential election. All right, I got to drop, and I'm sorry for hogging up all of the time, but thank you for inviting me up here, and thank you guys for not beating me up. I'm the only Republican out here. Stay blessed.
I appreciate y'all, bro. Thank you.
Family.
Can I share something real quick
I'm
about
15 minutes
numbers?
past my bedtime.
Oh.
Yeah, I usually go to bed about 8:30.
Oh.
Are you
Okay.
serious? Okay.
Huh?
I thought you were gonna hang out with us the whole night. Okay, that's fine.
I would love to, but y'all don't understand the way my schedule's set up. I can't do it. I gotta go to bed. My eyes already hurting and everything else. So, but it was fun, and like I said, I really hope I wake up to a Jasmine win.
I hope so too.
But again, Smitty, thank you for allowing me to share space with
of course.
These two wonderful women here, Nichelle and Carolina. Hey, you guys are all 100. And Smitty, again, salute to you. And I'll see y'all again. Peace out, y'all.
Much love,
Yes,
bro.
sir. See you soon,
I'm almost
man.
falling asleep when y'all are talking right now. My phone almost fell and hit me in my face. That's why I know I got to go to sleep.
Time to go to sleep.
I wanted to add something about numbers real quick.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, this could have changed in the last few minutes, but I did the calculations, and this is something I find really interesting. The total number of votes for the Republican side is 1,053,425, and the total number of votes for the Democratic side is 1,104,262. So we've actually seen so far more Democratic voters come out than Republican, and I think that's something that's interesting considering how Texas is and how they usually screw us over.
Yeah,
that's consistent with early voting. By the way, I just want to point out they're just bringing up the spending for each campaign. $24.1 million is what Tallarico spent. Jasmine Crockett, $3 million.
Wow. Yet the whole concern was her taking PAC money anyway. I can't stand y'all.
So
that would justify why I don't even know much about Crockett besides a picture of her. I've never seen any like
Junior,
that would
I'm
make
mad at you.
No, because I'm out of state, but all my family's from Texas. I'm one generation out of Texas. So I have not seen much but like a picture and like a thing on Facebook of Crockett. That would make sense why Tallarico's all over my pages. That would make sense why I see him meeting with a lot of Latin people and, all that. But I think the number thing is, that's after they vote, right? What, like the numbers? Who voted Republican? Who voted Democrat?
No.
Oh, that's it as they come in.
Right. So as they're so right now we've got 45% reporting. Dallas County just shut down a little bit ago, I guess.
45%
53%
precincts.
precinct. I'm sorry. 53% overall. Tallarico 45.8 for Jasmine, with 45% reporting right now. Right now they're going over Lubbock, so that's going to be up in the Panhandle area. Looks like that's mostly going for Tellurico, which was mostly Republican in 2024. They're comparing how Trump won 56.1% in that area in 2024, and James Tellurico is up by 50 some odd percent. He's focusing on Lubbock, which again is up in the Panhandle.
Because their campaign strategies had to be different. Because I can only speak from what I've seen from Tellurico. I wouldn't consider him like far left at all, but I think what his idea was to pull those disenfranchised and those angry people who feel like they made a mistake
Thank you, Risa.
over to the other side. You know what I mean? And I think that's what we're starting to see is a lot of my family members in the Valley, which is South Texas, so it's probably not even reported yet. Or if it has, it's probably definitely very Tellurico. But he's looking at those people who don't see the trans issues or all those things as a big deal personally for them, and he's aiming for them just to sway over for this election period.
Interesting.
I think that's what his goal is, and I think with the Latin vote, because East Texas is different, right? East Texas is where predominantly most of the African American voters are. And then South Texas is very Latin. West Texas is very Latin and white. So that northeast corner is going to be the strongest point. There's a lot of numbers there too, but I think as we go more into other places, we're going to see different. We're going to see if his mindset worked, because I think that's what he did. He didn't go super left. He said, "Look, I'm Christian, but I'm not going to impose these thoughts. You're allowed to have your own beliefs," and I think that's a major talking point to a lot of my family members, at least. They don't want somebody who just says whatever you want to hear. They want somebody who's going to have their own beliefs and then not enforce it. That whole 10 Commandments thing really jumped him above a lot of people in my family's eyes, because a lot of my family is Catholic, but they understand that people have the right to do what they want. You know what I mean? And that's why a lot of people are leaning towards him in my family, at least.
Got it.
Well, Catholics aren't generally the ones who push for religious, anyway.
Shit. That's how Texas became Texas.
No. I mean, in the schools, it's usually evangelicals leading.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely there.
Sorry, go ahead. Sorry, I wasn't looking. Go ahead, Smitty.
There's some analysis going on election day voting, and they're saying that election day voting so far has not been great for Tellurico. However, these analysts here are saying that Tellurico is still the favorite, and that they think that Tellurico will still win Texas because primarily the Latino vote, they feel from exit polling, is going to swing towards Tellurico. So what Nomas was saying, I mean, there's some other folks that feel the same way.
Has Star or any of those counties in the South came out yet?
Let me take a look.
El Paso is reporting.
Sorry, Nichelle. Go ahead.
Yeah, El Paso is reporting. So a lot of the analysts that I'm looking at are comparing this. I would agree. There are some parallels to the 2018 with Beto O'Rourke. Wait, what is she saying? Never mind. Sorry, go ahead. Yeah, San Antonio is reporting. I believe El Paso started reporting. I could be wrong.
I'm not seeing it on NBC, and Star hasn't started reporting either, but let me refresh and check another.
Right, exactly. Living life. Yeah, El Paso is going to be late, but San Antonio's been reporting.
Yeah.
It was more like northern. Well, I guess it's central. I guess it's considered South Texas now, but it's northern South Texas.
It's not northern.
It's
It's
right
not
below
northern.
Austin. Yeah, it's right
I
below Austin.
live
It's
in
way up there.
central. Yeah, I live in central Texas. It's definitely not northern. No, it's
No,
south.
I'm saying
We
it's
consider
northern
it
South
south.
Texas is what I'm saying. Like it's
That's
on the
I
because
got
edge.
you're
you. I
that's
got
because
you.
you're from the valley.
Um, so they're saying that there's some level of chaos in Dallas County because there was um, the vote was extended, but then that vote being extended was blocked by a different judge, and so they're saying that there's been chaos
See,
and
and I think that's another thing we have to think about is the levels of barricades we're gonna have to fight for Texas to flip blue. Like people don't understand how many generations it's been red, and multiple races believe in that mindset. And for
Okay,
us to
first of
flip
all,
that state, it's gonna
hold
be
on.
hard.
Oh no, it's not. I'm respectfully, I'm so tired of people saying that. Listen, the voter apathy problem is due to what we see happening in Dallas County, voter
No, I
suppression.
didn't say it wasn't because the people wanted it. I said because the barricades carried the barricades that are going to be put in front of you for the moment they start seeing they may lose grip. That's what I mean.
Yeah,
They
they're
already did the
doing.
gerrymandering and everything.
Okay, so let's be clear for everybody in the chat. What is happening in Dallas County is voter suppression, 1,000%.
Yeah.
When you have to have a judge come in and 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 make a ruling on that, that is voter suppression. So what happened, just to refresh everybody, earlier today, voters who were supposed to be able to vote county-wide were told that they had to vote in their home precincts. Okay, they did an interview with a young gentleman, a young YT gentleman, by the way, so we don't know how he was voting. He didn't say which way he was voting. He said it took him 2.5 hours going back and forth between a county precinct that he had voted at for 10 years. I guess it was closer to his house versus a home precinct that was assigned by the voting commission, right? Um, and then when he got to the home precinct, they told him he couldn't vote there because he hadn't voted there before. He went back to the precinct that he'd been voted. So there's a lot of that going on right now. That is classic voter suppression, y'all. That's
Hmm.
classic voter
Yeah.
suppression.
Yeah, I 100% agree, and I knew it was going to happen. It's probably going to happen one more time somewhere in another big. Probably in San Antonio, there might be something comes up because those are very blue leaning counties. Like those, Beja County is a very blue leaning county.
And
Always has been.
by the way, that has never been done before in Dallas County. They've never made a distinction between voting countywide and voting with your home precinct, but they did it for this particular primary. Just
so
this one. They didn't do it in 2024. They did it just in this one.
Yeah.
uh, okay, so let me go read some comments, you guys. I apologize. Normally I read a lot more of the comments. Let's see here. Williamson was extended as well. Let's see here. What else? Thanks to Dallas Mayor Eric Johnson, it was easier in Tarrant County. Um, is Houston blue or red? Out of curiosity, Houston is Harris County, fam, and that is going towards Jasmine. The last time I
Yeah,
looked.
Tarrant is largely for Jasmine right now. So the surrounding counties of Dallas, except to the north, Tarrant and Ellis and Kaufman are in favor of Jasmine right now, pretty significantly.
Tess, welcome up to the panel. What are your thoughts, fam? Love to have you. Thanks for being here.
So on the Dallas County late voting thing, yes, it was,
Mm-hmm.
and it's only for the Democratic polling. Basically, Democratic representatives went and requested that the polls stay extended because of this issue. Republicans did not. Republicans are now saying they feel cheated, so they went to the Texas Supreme Court on an emergency issue, and then the Texas Supreme Court told them to pull, said that the polls need to close and to pull any voters' votes that have happened after 7 p.m. So this will be contested, I'm sure. It'll probably drag out for, I don't know, month, two, and all the Dallas County Democratic votes, besides those that were counted after 7 p.m., well, the ones that were counted after 7 p.m., if it's too much of a big slide,
Mm-hmm.
then there's going to be a highly contested situation here.
Mm.
Because I'm in the county just south of Dallas,
Mm-hmm.
know a lot of people there. I know a lot of people that were going for Jasmine.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know everybody in Dallas County, but a lot of people were. I have a lot of friends that were very invested in this primary. So,
How are you feeling, Tess? Talk to me about your confidence level. What are your thoughts on who you think will take it?
oh, my county is so weird. So, um, before this primary even started being talked about, I was there's a lot of MAGA, and I
Mm-hmm.
felt like I couldn't walk around and say a word about any politics, otherwise I'd get beat out of town. Um, However, my Facebook feed has been full of because I'm in a rural town. It's where you would expect a lot of red in this rural town. But I have got
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people on those little Facebook groups where you have like um the I'm from such and such city. And
Mm-hmm.
that's me. I'm from this such and such city. So I had that on the FB. Um, there's a lot of debate over politics, and there's a lot of blue people talking in there. And it shocked the ever loving stuff out of me. Some people I never knew. There's several people I saw that have been Republican, and I knew that they were MAGA into the last election.
Mm-hmm.
They're now like, I never thought I'd be voting for the Democratic ticket, but that's where I'm getting tomorrow.
Interesting. Very
It was
interesting. Wow.
weird. So I'm hopeful. I'm pushing for it. I'm working on a lot of the Save Act stuff as well right now. Trying to get some documents in order and trying to get some graphics together so that
Mm-hmm.
I can at least let my state know if you are this kind of person or this kind of person or this kind of person, whether it's married, whether it's trans, um, whether it's immigrant, whatever, this is what you need. You know, naturalized citizen, these are the documents you'll need type of stuff. So just in case it goes through, I hope not, but
Okay. Okay.
So I want to
invested.
clarify something in the chat real quick. Somebody said, like, with the vote coming in and Talarico continues to extend his lead. No, it's literally the same percentage points. He has not gained a significant amount on her, so he's not extending the lead. It's still 53.1 to 45.8.
So
Mhm.
real quick, to what Tess was saying, I think you might have mentioned this, Tess, but I was reading as you were talking about Dallas County. They're saying that folks who voted after 7 p.m. Central had to cast provisional ballots. So um, that does not sound good for Jasmine.
It
Obviously,
doesn't, but
go ahead.
let me also address Dallas County had a I think I saw reporting. I could be completely wrong on this, but had
Hmm.
a historic number of early voting turnout.
That's correct.
So
That's correct.
there's early
Hmm.
voting, there's the voting that happened all day, and with an let's just say an hour and a half, it was just provisional ballots. I still see a lot of coming out of Dallas. I mean, it's Dallas is going to be hundreds of thousands at least. I don't know.
And to
One
It's a
second.
Tessa's
lot.
and to Tessa's point, so we've had this happen before. So she's right. Anything after 7 o'clock will be provisional. They will count the early voting and in person first.
Yep.
And if they can still call it tonight. Now, if it's a landslide, then she's right. But if it's neck and neck, then yeah, this could be a problem for Dallas County. So now I'm looking
Ooh.
by precinct, county by county. Wilco has not been counted yet, y'all. Williamson County, that's north of Austin.
Mhm.
That's
So
neighboring Travis County. So
so
they have not reported in either.
real
Long.
quick. I just let me just come in and say this real quick because I don't. Again, for the people in Texas, y'all got to tell me what this means. But El Paso is 58.8% in, and Talarico is up 62.3% to 35.9% for Jasmine. That represents about 10,000 votes in El Paso. El Paso is, heavily Latino. So
I expect that. I
Hmm.
expect that.
Same.
I
But I'm
actually
saying
did
keep that
not
in mind,
expect
though.
that for El Paso just because it's usually more progressive, but
That's the thing that so
San
that's going to be the
Antonio.
nuance. That's going to be the nuance to this conversation, y'all, because this is not Democrat versus Republican. This is Democrat versus Democrat. The
right.
ideologies are almost identical. If you pull up where they stand on ICE, on the economy, on infrastructure, on AI, on whatever, I mean, yeah, there's some differences, but the big difference, we all know what the big difference is, right? So again, it's about the campaign strategy. So now they're reporting about Dallas County right now on CNN, and they're not reporting yet. So
Yeah.
I expected that. I 1000% expected that out of El Paso.
okay, you
I
expect
Well,
to be
expect
that
most.
okay.
I expect most of the border. I'll expect 98% of the border counties to vote Tellerico just because he did his major campaigning in Latin American areas. Like he really did. I seen a lot of videos of my family members who were going to taco shops and he had, talkings out there and like just regular everyday things. He was stopping at Stripes, like there was a lot of things that I was surprised to see people doing. And like somebody else said earlier, that it's not that he was going against the other party. He was going against our own people, but he was choosing to play the middle card and try to get those people who may be on the fence with who are mad at seeing their family members taken or whatever, and trying to bring them over to our side. That's what the idea of the plan was, and I think it worked so
And
far.
the
so
other, so Jeff in the comments says he outspent her too. Yes, just a reminder to everybody in the chat, 24 point, what was it, 24.4 million to her three.
that's what I was gonna say. I'm starting to obviously there's the obvious elephants in the room, right? But I'm starting to. I really had a lot more faith in her grassroots campaign, but yeah.
So Dave
Um,
Um,
Wasserman, do you guys know what Dave Wasserman is? I guess is calling it for Tallarico. I guess I see in the chat. Yeah. So the thing about
I
El
don't know Dave
Paso,
Wasserman.
right, that I'm trying to understand is, right. I understand it's not a surprise that it went for Tallarico, but it is the spread, right, one way or the other. That's how you can kind of read where these elections are going to go. So I don't know if 62% to 35 is what you thought it was going to be. If it's more, if it's less, that seems pretty for a progressive, county. That seems pretty substantial. I don't know, but again, I don't know Texas, so I'm gonna be quiet. But that's what I'm
Well,
trying. I'm
we've only
trying
got,
to get to
yeah,
trends.
It's going to be way,
we've
way
only
bigger
got,
than that.
hang on, we've only got 59% of that vote in, and that's Beto's ground, stomping ground. So again, I'm not super surprised by that. Again, how Harris County goes is a good indicator of how Texas may go.
can I ask you a
We're
question on that, Nichelle? Though,
sure.
um, okay, because I understand that because we have like a few states where they have like counties like that that virtually determine, like the win. Do you think it has that historically been the case for primary elections as well, or is that usually just a general election thing, or are we
It's
counting both?
great question. It's definitely not a general election thing because if that was the case, Trump would have won, or there would have been a Democrat, and But in terms of I think the primary, a lot of people are watching. I mean, as you look at the analysis, nobody's really talking about like necessarily up in the Panhandle or I don't know, Galveston or something like that. They're paying attention to Harris County, which is Houston, Dallas, which is going to be DFW, um, Austin. I mean, that's his home base, so okay. Now the border counties are going to be interesting to see whether or not she made an impact there. She was the only one that visited Little Liam and the Dilley Detention Center,
Right.
and that seemed to get her, some momentum there. Um, but yeah, again, we don't have Dallas County reporting yet. I think we're going to know better when we get Dallas reporting and more of what's. I think it's too early to call for Tallarico, though. I definitely think
Oh,
it's
It's definitely too early to call.
yeah.
it's the other thing is I mean I don't think anybody can say that he hasn't run a fantastic campaign. he has done really well. Debate, he blew it for sure. But he has been seen at almost every place across the state. Um, as opposed to Jasmine. Now she is doing some seriously hard tasks in Washington. I'm not gonna I'm not faulting her for that at all. Um, she did make a stop in my county. Went to the Democratic Center in this county, and we got to meet her. Shook her hand real quick. I didn't have time for a picture. She was running, but she had 3 visits to different places in Dallas area that day. But she hasn't made as many stops as he has. Now, granted, he does have more time on his hands. But he has run a very, very, very good campaign where he's been very, very, very visible to Texans. That is the thing I will say.
I think what's
Interesting.
also
Okay.
I think what's also interesting, real quick, is that there are 3 candidates on each ballot, right? And when it comes to the Democratic side, I mean, it's like the third person is like inconsequential. It's like 1.2%, but it really does seem to be like this Wesley Hunt is affecting how close Cornyn and Paxton are. I'm wondering which way, because Wesley Hunt is coming in with 13% of the vote, and Cornyn is still at 42 and Ken at 40. So they're even closer. And so I do think that that's an interesting issue. I'd like to see like which type. Is it more of the MAGA Republicans, or is it more of the disaffected Republicans? Which ones were leaning more towards Hunt?
That would be
Yeah.
interesting. Well, it's going to
Mod
basically
announcement.
guarantee a runoff.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Exactly. I'm gonna do a mod announcement real quick.
yeah,
Listen,
go
to
ahead.
the
Go ahead, Michelle.
308 people, thank you guys so much for hanging out with us during this watch party. We really appreciate you guys hanging out with us. We've only got 36 shares. If you guys could share out the live, we'd greatly appreciate it. Let the app know that we appreciate the Smitty for hosting this watch party. I'd also like to draw your attention to the orange heart by Smitty's name. If you haven't grabbed your daily heart meat, please do that. I know it's easy to get kind of engrossed, or maybe you're cooking and just kind of listening in, but we do need to engage with the tools within the app. So if you can click on the orange heart by his name, grab your daily heart me. Also, TikTok rewards you guys for actually participating. So once you click your daily orange heart me, complete the other missions. You get 30 points for leaving a comment, for sending over a gift. And I also like to point out to the gift goals as well. If we could help the host with that as well, I'd appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate that, Michelle. The app has been
My
very
bad, I went to
glitchy
share
today.
it.
Oh, yeah, no, yeah, the app has been very glitchy today. Like I still have Ablo's box still on my phone here. So, and I've heard from other content creators that the app has been pretty glitchy today. So, appreciate all the support, y'all.
And if you are in Texas and you guys have voted, if you voted for Tellerico, or even if you voted for Republican, we'd love to hear from you guys if you want to give your input on the election tonight.
It'll be
Come on
nice.
up.
I do find it interesting how
The way the
most
states are
of
going to go.
the
Oh, okay.
east part of the state is going Jasmine. I mean, it's just lit up Jasmine.
Yeah, it is very much so.
But isn't that where she's from?
She's from Dallas.
Yeah.
Yep. Texas Supreme Court halts lower court ruling on extending voting hours in Dallas. So yeah, we talked about that already. The Lone Star's state high court temporarily paused the lower court's decision to extend Dallas County's voting hours till 10 p.m. Eastern, which we just passed already, adding that any votes cast after 8 p.m. Eastern when polls were originally scheduled to close should be separated. So we talked about that here a few minutes ago. So we'll be monitoring results as they come in. So it looks like with 50.7% of the expected votes in, so this isn't precincts, these are votes. It looks like Tallarico is ahead 53.9% to Jasmine Crockett's 44.9%, so a 9-point lead with a roughly 51% of expected votes in. What's going
I
on, James? And so the Republican race is going to go towards a runoff. That's pretty clear.
um
Ursula.
so one of the articles I'm reading about this is from Bloomberg Law. He said the the Texas Supreme Court, the ruling was because Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton filed the emergency motion to strike down the order in Dallas County because he said the trial court made the decision without giving him required notice. The judge extended the voting hours due to confusion that made required voters cast. I got to sign in to see the rest of the article, but yeah. So Ken Paxton strikes again for us Texans.
Mm.
This is why, let me stress this again. This is why elections have consequences and why elections matter, right? This is why we all need to make sure that we do our civic duty and vote. So if you didn't vote in the primary, that's fine, wherever you are, whatever state that you're in. But for the love of God, if we can mute up, you guys, if we can mute up, perfect. Tess, if we can mute up. Thank you, dear. I appreciate you. This is why elections matter. In moments right here, right now, we're seeing it in real time. This is why elections matter. So make sure that you guys, if you missed it for your primary, no shame, no anything, but 90 million people who were eligible to vote in 2024 chose not to vote, right? This, you're watching it in real time. Ken Paxton, who is the attorney general right now for the state of Texas, who's also running to be a senator against John Cornyn, stepped in and made it more difficult for people in Dallas County to vote. Here we are.
Okay. Yeah, there's another
Who are the
pundit
hosts
that
again?
just called for Tallarico, but I've never heard of him. So we will. He's saying El Paso just dropped with a particularly dominant result for Tallarico, 62 to 36.
Another race. Sorry, one second. Let me get this pulled up. Another race that I don't think we've talked enough about is Al Green's seat.
Yeah, we also haven't talked about governor
Yeah,
on the
I mean,
Democratic side.
yeah. Oh, Hinojosa's blowing it out of the park. There's no
Out of the park.
competition.
Out of the
Yeah,
park.
but I
So
am
happy for her.
concerned about. I'm concerned about Al Green's seat. Christian Menefre is leading right now. 48.6 to 43.3%.
I give an update real quick because Dallas County votes dropped so
Oh yeah,
far.
go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah,
61%
please.
in, 61% in, 61% in, and 60.7% Jasmine, 38.2% James.
That's good.
Wow.
What did I tell
That's
y'all? As Harris County goes, so goes Texas.
and that's not even 200,000 votes yet. There's 38%, 39% left to be
Okay,
Yeah.
counted
so
or
let's see.
reported.
That takes. Hold on. Give me a second. That takes the total count. So now it's 59.1% of the total votes in. Tallarico's got 51.8. Jasmine Crockett's got 47%.
Yep.
I wouldn't be celebrating that too quick.
I
I'll be
mean, but
honest with
that's
y'all.
still a jump from 45. So
No, I know, but
It's
I'm just
from
telling
Dallas, so you
y'all.
had to expect that that would go towards
I
her.
think she might. I think she might need more than that. Now let me see how many precincts have
how
reported.
what's the percentage difference to that runoff is mandatory?
Oh, it's got to be lower than 50. So I mean that would be shocking. You never know, but
Yeah.
it'd have to be razor thin with the third guy only getting 1.2% of the vote to get to a runoff. On the Republican side, it's
Okay.
clear it's going to be a runoff.
I'm sorry to interrupt. So breaking news, according to, okay, Dallas County is reporting 61%, Jasmine Crockett 60.7, Tallarico 38.2. However, it says the Crockett campaign, they are filing a lawsuit to keep the polls open in Texas.
Okay.
So now they're filing a lawsuit.
Good.
Okay, good.
And yes, you're correct. Overall, Tallarico is still winning 51.8 to her 46.9, with 59% reporting.
This is so weird. It got to these random counties that haven't reported anything. Edwards County, I
Yeah.
feel the small counties. Yano County,
Star still
Williamson.
hasn't reported.
The Williamson County was the other one that was out, right? Um, that hadn't
Let me
reported.
check on
That's a bigger
Williamson. Let me
one,
check
right?
on Wilco. That's a big one. That's a big one. Williamson is not reporting yet.
Yeah,
No.
interesting.
Yeah, yeah, Williamson,
Wilco
nothing.
closes at 10 Central. Okay. So they've got another hour. So what happened that they were able to close late, but not Dallas?
Well, look at the percentage of what went for Jasmine Crockett.
No, I got you. I got you. I'm just
And
saying,
Ken
you know,
Paxton, yeah, Ken Paxton went in. Maybe Williamson County was able to get the notice in time. I don't know. I'm definitely going to look at that. That's a great
yeah, I'm
question.
asking for the official reason. I know the unofficial reason, but
Right,
just the
right,
official
right.
reason. Yeah.
My bad, my bad. I'm losing it. I'm sorry.
Has Bayhawk
It's
County
okay.
put in yet? Anybody?
What?
Has Bayhawk County, Bear County, San Antonio
Yeah,
County?
they're pissing me off. I'm about to call all my cousins and cuss them out. 56.5 for Tallarico, 42.3 for Crockett, 71% of the vote in. So I'm gonna call my family and tell
How
them
about
I ain't
Corpus? What's Corpus County? Is it? I don't think it's Corpus County. What's the name of their county?
Corpus. Isn't that
Nueces. So
Nueces?
that's
Yeah.
Yeah, Nueces County.
uh,
How high are they
Those
on Tallarico?
idiots went for Tallarico too.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Most of South Texas is going to be very high. I'm just wondering the numbers.
62.1% for Tallarico, 36.3 for Crockett. So I'm
Yeah.
not talking to my family, y'all, for a whole year.
Yeah, I'm
It's
pretty sure
coming.
South Texas, all of South Texas, is going to be pretty strong Tellerico pushers. I think.
Yeah, the concern as was being reported unofficially, these are through Smitty sources, from the Crockett campaign is that there's not enough votes in Dallas County to make up the gap. They're saying
How does
unless
it
there
end up?
is
That's what I was gonna say.
yeah
It hinges on the lawsuit, right?
yeah, and then also they don't know the early voting versus election day how that's going to split out.
Panda
So what they're
said
saying
Twitter's.
is
Oh, go ahead, Smitty. Sorry.
so they're saying that the election day voting may not have the same level of oomph for Jasmine as the early voting did, and so she won't potentially get enough votes from Dallas County. But again, that's unofficial Smitty sources. That's not what's being reported officially as of yet.
So
So
Panda put
we'll have to
in the
continue to
chat.
watch.
Yeah, Panda put in the chat that Twitter's trying to call it for Tallarico, but Panda, everything I'm looking at so far says too early to call still, so that's a good sign, I guess.
Yeah. Now,
FYI. I
remember,
just want to.
remember, if y'all were here in 2004, right, with the general election, the same things again. I hate to be Debbie Downer. The same things that I saw for Trump, or again, if you're rooting for Tallarico, you're loving the analysis that I'm talking about. But the same thing I saw for Trump in 2024 is what I'm seeing for Tallarico. He's overperforming in some of these counties that he needed to do well in. Same thing happened to Kamala in 2020. Yeah, this is we'll see.
With
We'll see
Obama,
though.
it's the
We'll
same thing what
see.
happened with Obama when the Latino vote, quote unquote, the Latino vote kind of pushes Texas in many of the Democratic elections.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see how many voters come out because of the state I live in. I live in a red state also, and just to see this many blue votes come out to express their feelings in a primary is very, very happy. It makes me very happy either way they're voting because at least
Mm-hmm.
people are paying attention. And I think a lot of us know people who decided not to vote in the last election because they didn't think that it mattered. But now we see what happens when you don't vote.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So it looks like I think they're calling it for the Republican primary that will go to a runoff with Cornyn and Paxton on the ballot. So that's not a surprise for anybody.
Yeah. Just FYI, and just everybody that's out there and all the Texas voters, just to piggyback off of what everybody's been saying tonight. Be mad tonight if you're a Jasmine voter. Just be mad as hell. Scream into a pillow, all that stuff. Hell, be mad for the rest of the week. But come next week, start pushing for James Tallarico if that's the way this goes. Because it's not over yet. But if that's the way it goes, just got to get a Dem elected. Period.
So,
Sometimes you got to bite your teeth to do it, but
so I
Go
am
ahead. Okay.
curious for anybody who knows about the Al Green, the District 18 race. I mean, it's Manafre versus Al Green. Manafre is, 37. Al Green is 78. Some people are arguing that, while both have been pretty consistent in their opposition to Trump, they feel that Green is a little bit more, I guess you could say, like performative. I don't get that impression from Green, but I'm wondering if there's anybody who has any thoughts on that race.
I do, because I voted for Christian
You did.
and did.
Okay,
So
tell me.
yeah, so there. And listen, mad respect for Al Green. Okay, we'll go to the mat for Al Green. Okay, we'll take it to hell for Al Green. However, there is a sense among Democrats here that are doing the work, whether they're precinct chairs, whether they're involved in their local elections, they want to see younger Democrats come in and step up. There was a very respectful but passionate and heated kind of conversation internally, about the changing of the guard. And so you're going to, it's not surprising me at all that Christian is up in the polls. Not surprising me at all. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's
So
no
real quick,
disrespect. It's no disrespect, but that's
Well,
kind of the
no,
way
I
it is.
feel you.
real quick. So for Dallas County, the vast majority of voting that has been counted was early voting. So out of all of the ballots counted, 186,592 were early voting. Only 5,110 were election day votes. So in Dallas County, what is out is the election day vote. So we got to figure out which way that is going to slant. Is that going to slant towards Jasmine? Or, I mean, it definitely will slant towards Jasmine in Dallas. It's just how much, right? So the election day vote is what's out in Dallas right now.
And Wilco is still not reporting.
Yeah.
The changing of the guard. I think most of us are tired of seeing these old people tell us how we're supposed to feel. And I think also we're tired of hearing let's just hate Trump. Like, how about we beat him? I think that's the new mindset for a lot of Democrats is like, okay, the attacking Trump didn't work, but we got to get him out of there. So how about we beat him? And I think that's what a lot of people have that sense in Texas. And I'm curious because I live in a red state and I want to see, because Texas moves the way the United States moves in my eyes. Like when Texas votes a certain way, that's normally how it goes. To see all these people coming out in blue like they did for Obama, I'm excited because that may happen in my state. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's a great point because, again, I have to say it over and over in case someone didn't hear me. Mad respect for Al Green, 1,000%. It was never a conversation of he's this, he's that, he's folded, he's lame. None of that. It was always about immense amount of respect, but a change of guard. Look at James Tallarico. He's, I think, 35, 37, 30, something like that. He's young. He is young, right? There is a fervor here that we want change, and I agree with you 1,000%. It's not so much hold your nose, clutching of the pearls. People are tired of that. People are tired of the clutching of the pearls and the strongly worded tweets and the strongly worded, letters. We want action. So either way, in a way, we win. Yeah, if James Tallarico is going to be the winner, he's got some work to do. He damn for sure has some work to do in the Black community, right? He can't forget that the Black community, we are a very reliable voting bloc across all demographics, by the way, right? He struggled with the younger vote. He got them energized, but they're not a reliable voting bloc. But for the Black community, he's got some work to do. Okay. And so we will push him to be a better candidate should he win tonight. But yeah, there is this fervor within the local Democratic parties here in Texas, not the national one, where yeah, they're looking for something different. And I
So
think it's showing.
real quick, then I want to go to James. This is a quote from someone at Jasmine Crockett's event. Apparently, she said, "I want you to enjoy yourself, but I won't be back out here tonight." Let's go to James. Go, James. How you doing, brother?
Jasmine said, wait, I'm sorry. Jasmine said that?
Yep.
Oh my God.
She's expecting this to go on until tomorrow and be decided tomorrow. At least tomorrow. Probably later. Just FYI.
Yep. Go ahead, James.
Methuselah, it is good to see you. The wood panel wall behind you portends
Oh God.
to you being 956. However,
Oh, you needed that laugh.
um, here's the thing. When you are combating fascism, at this point, we don't have the luxury of being online leftists. No matter who wins tonight, we need to vote anyway. We have a president of the United States who continues to wage war on countries, to do so without the authority granted to him by Congress, and to have a Speaker of the House and a Majority Leader who act incapable of understanding that it violates the U.S. Constitution. I hear the frustration. I want Jasmine to win so that I am clear, but I also want to be clear that we don't have the luxury of being online leftists because they are rich and white and will show up as fascism for mints and be able to blend in. We don't have that luxury. We have to vote for people that caucus with us. And you can say blue no matter who, whatever. Guess what? We have kidnapped a foreign leader, and now we are bombing a country without the authority of Congress. So guess what? If you want to talk to me about AIPAC and all that shit, get somebody else. You've got the wrong person on the line. I don't care. At this point, I'm voting for whoever is not going to vote for Donald Trump because he's a clear and present danger to the republic of this country. Get over it. Get your head out your behind, get over it. At some point, we must realize that we aren't shopping for window cleaner. We are trying to elect people to combat fascism.
All right, thank you, James, for that. Go ahead, jump in, y'all. I'm not moderating tonight. I'm just looking at information online, and then when I get some sources,
How
how you
many
doing,
counties have
Abdullah? Good to have
reported
you.
out of
Go
Texas? How
ahead.
many counties have reported?
Let me switch back to that. Let's see. Let me go back.
There's still a lot that are blank.
Yeah, I know a lot of the rural counties in between Corpus and South Texas, or in South Texas, will probably be blank for a while.
And there's still several up in the Panhandle, several on the east side of the state. Can I shout out two things? One of them is if y'all want to see how crazy the gerrymandering is, just click over to the House. On there, you can see the districts. It's insane. But as a piece of good news, it looks like we may be getting rid of Chip Roy. If anybody knows Chip Roy, he's super MAGA in the House. A younger guy by the name of Mays Middleton is running against him for Attorney General. Either way, he is out of Congress. But as of right now, he is losing to this new younger Mays Middleton guy for the Attorney General race. So looks like Texas may not have to deal with Chip Roy much at all for long.
So taking it out. Interesting. It's taking it out of Texas for a minute. Is Maine? Is there a race in Maine with that primary with that one guy that basically kind of just set the world on fire in Maine? Let me see. I don't see it. Today's races to watch. Let's see. Senate results. Cosmic, thank you so much, fam. Not yet. Okay, thank you, Icon. Wonder when that's gonna happen. I hear he's got a huge lead in Maine. Okay, any other races you guys want us to report on? Let's see here. I don't see anything that's particularly close. Looks like Crenshaw is going to be gone in Texas. He's losing pretty substantially.
Who's
That's
running
pretty big
against
news.
Who's running against Susan Collins in Maine?
Oh, it's two Democrats, but I don't think Maine's going on tonight. But the one that kind of came out of nowhere is winning, like at least in the poll I saw, by like 30, 40 points. Graham Plattner, that's it. Graham
So,
Plattner.
yep, that's Maine. That's Susan Collins' opponent. Susan Collins and Jan
Mm-hmm.
Mills. I want to say something else just for the sake of saying it. Texas is not a bellwether state. Like, it is a primary election. Whoever wins in Texas I heard this, I don't remember from whom, but Texas is not a bellwether state. You need Pennsylvania, you need places like Michigan, but
Wisconsin.
Texas is not a bellwether state. No matter whoever wins the primary tonight, it will mean nothing in the greater scheme of things.
I'm going to push back a little bit on that, my friend. I agree with you that it's not a bellwether state, but given where we are right now, and given what I'm looking at in terms of the counties and who is voting where, I do think, with the war in Iran just kicking off, with ICE, doing all the horrible things that they're doing, it is interesting. And I'm watching some analysis as well, flipping back and forth between, what Texas looked like in 2024 and what it's looking like right now. But I do agree with you that it's certainly not a bellwether state.
Thank
But
you, Cosmic.
especially those of us who live here are really interested in seeing how each county breaks. Now, if this was November, I wouldn't be so, I don't know, animated, but especially between Jasmine and Tallarico, two what on all, I don't know, on the face value, look like great candidates, and yet people are choosing one over the other. I do think it's
Thank you,
interesting
Cosmic.
to
Appreciate you,
watch
fam.
how the different votes and counts are turning out. So I wouldn't say that it means like nothing.
But you're talking about a state where, for the sake of saying it, what's the turnout, right? Like, that might be a bellwether. What is the total turnout of the total count of the
Bellwether is
people that voted for a Democrat or a Republican? But in terms of it being indicative of what's going to happen in November, it's not, because we don't know recidivism, right? Like, this is the first major race that you have people talking about in Texas for the U.S. Senate in the primary. So it is going to be interesting to see. I don't disagree with you, my friend, but I think it'll be interesting to see the like who turns up for the general, right? Like, who turns up? But there is no data that would point us to the sort of competitiveness that exists in the Democratic primary for the United States Senate in Texas. It just doesn't exist from a vantage point of Black and brown voters. The last time that there was a Democratic senator, the Democratic Party looked different and had a different set of voters. So I just, for the sake of pushing back to your pushing back, I don't know that this race has a statistical equivalent in the historical record.
I do agree with that from that point, but I do still feel, and you're right, and right now we don't know. You're absolutely right. We don't know. Now, if there are some headlines coming out tonight where the Latino vote or the overall votes show something different, like the numbers, like how many people were energized to come up and vote. I think that is interesting. The fact that we flipped Tarrant County just 2 years after the main election, I do think that was important, right? And made national headlines. But I agree. I guess I would agree with you, but it's really too early to tell yet. But I do agree with you 1000% that Texas is not necessarily a bellwether state. I think the reason why it's getting so much attention right now is because it's Texas, right? I mean, let's just be honest.
Yeah, and I have an updated number on as far as the total turnout Republican versus Democrat.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so as of right now, now with the numbers increasing, there's still Democrats have turned out 180,376 more votes than the Republican primary. So I mean, like I said, I feel like that's an interesting number right now.
And they're historic numbers, specifically in Dallas County, which is probably why, to your point, Smitty, when you asked earlier, how come Williamson County, got clearance to be open with no problems and Dallas County didn't?
Right.
That could be why. Like some of these numbers are historic in terms of primary voting. Like really, like people barely show up for, the main election, let alone a primary. So
Yeah.
that's interesting.
Yeah. This is real quick from a. Give me 1 second. This is from coming in as a native DFW who voted for Tallarico over Crockett. Tallarico, this is on a website, by the way, so this is not somebody I know. Tallarico took his campaign far more seriously than Crockett did. Name ID, even with Kamala Harris's endorsement, is not enough to drive genuine support outside your home metro. Latinos are going to be a major swing vote, and they're swinging, especially the RGV in South Texas, for Tallarico. So that's kind of what we talked about earlier in the discussion, that the Latino vote does seem to be coming in heavier for Tallarico than expected, which is helping him.
That makes sense.
Focusing on. I think that's what no one's focusing on. Somebody up here in the comment, I think, I don't know, Madi, sorry. She said a lot of Latinos are very racist in Texas and machismo. I couldn't agree more. I come from that long line of history. But if Texas Latinos are voting if they're voting this way in big numbers, it gives me hope for the rest of the states, because Latinos are all over the 50 states. And when you see them activated like they were for Obama, like they were for Trump, like when you see those groups of people activated, they're a powerhouse. And a lot of people sleep on them because you don't really hear from them. You know what I mean? So to see this level of turnout in Texas, where normally they wouldn't be voting that way, it's interesting. That's what I meant. Like, I don't mean bell cow.
But do you think they're going to come out for, let's say Tallarico does win, you think they're going to come out for him in the general?
I think they're going to come out for anybody who's blue, to be honest, because I think a lot of them did not realize the level of damage what was going to happen. And I think those who did do that, they regret it to an extreme amount now. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And Spinny, just for the sake of saying it, that's what I mean, right? That recidivism has not been studied. Like, are they going to be return voters in the general? And I can opine, and everybody up here can, but I want to encourage people to realize that when we say listen, we should listen. So no matter who wins, if James Tallarico says vote for Jasmine Crockett, I didn't win, vote for Jasmine Crockett, show up and punch the ballot. If Jasmine Crockett, if we believe Black women, and Jasmine Crockett says show up and punch the ballot for James Tallarico, do it. Because I can promise you that both of the two are better than Senator Cornyn from Texas.
And that's what we're running. That's what we're going to run into. Right. And this is why I feel so passionately about this, why I was very, very hesitant to quote unquote drag Tallarico, right? Because I didn't want to be in this position of where, January through early March, it was, yeah, you have your support for a particular candidate, but to James's point, like, are you going to show up and do what you're supposed to do in November, right? And so now, starting tonight or whenever this race is settled, you know, the race is on. The race is on 1000%. I saw, I want to say maybe 2 days ago, 2 or 3 days ago, James was at at an event and he made it crystal clear. He said, listen, because he knows how some of his supporters kind of got a little out of hand, coming against Jasmine in ways that I don't need to describe here. He made it crystal clear. He said, "Listen, if for some reason I lose, like." I love Texas. I care about Texas. We all have to get behind. He goes, and he's pointing around the room. He's like, I expect every single last one of you to back Jasmine Crockett, right? um and we need that, right? So then now it's going to be nail biting between now and November. Like, what are, to James's point, what are people going to do? Are you going to do the right thing? Are you going to show up? We'll see.
Yeah, Bernie, bro.
Oh.
Um, sorry, can I just update on some numbers super
Yeah,
fast?
go for it. Go for it.
This is okay. It's not any. It's just a weird little thing I've been seeing. I was just looking, and I just used the GOP as an example, but the Senate race has got so far, uh, 1,342,394 votes in the Senate race. Why? I'm sorry, that's the governor race. The Senate race has got 1,343,498 votes, which means a little over 1,100 people did not even vote for the governor race. So that's both of the GOP sides. My point in saying, make sure everybody casts their vote, not just for Senate, not just for House, for everything. Everything determines how you live.
Let me see. I had a quick update. I have some different numbers, which, to Catalina's point, even better for Democrats. It was 1.45 million projected for Democrats and 1.1 million for Republicans. So that
Yeah.
does show that energy that you were talking about.
Oh, there's definitely more Democrats. The
Hmm.
GOP, the one it was just the GOP numbers I used. That difference between voting for Senate versus governor. Like, people, apparently there was over 1,000 that left the governor spot blank, which means they only went in and voted for Senate.
Got you. So I'm hearing that Crockett did very poorly in University Park, Highland Park, and up into Richardson in Dallas County. So is that surprise folks?
No,
My Texas people.
I will say, they have officially called that it will. We knew it was going to happen. They've officially called it to be a runoff for the Republican side.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to give an update real quick. This is interesting. Okay. Let me give this update. So, and for Dallas County, all right, this reporter who is in Austin at the Talarico headquarters, they watched the remarks of Jasmine Crockett say that she felt like voters in Dallas County had been disenfranchised, that they were filing a lawsuit, and that she did not expect for the results to come out tonight. And all of the analysts are talking about what we were just talking about party unity. They said that Talarico was feeling really good at their campaign until the Dallas numbers came out, and then they said the whole vibe in their headquarters went flat. Now, and she did say that she did not feel like the results would be determined completely out of Dallas County tonight, but she did feel like that they were disenfranchised. Her words. It is right now, as it stands, 51.8% with 774,260 votes for James Talarico, and to her 47%, 702,723, and that's with 61% reporting. And it looks like Wilco has just dropped their numbers. So we'll take a look at that. But that's where we are right now. And the analysts, again, are all focusing on Houston for some reason. They keep going back. They show the whole map of Texas, and then they zero in on Houston, where
Oh,
she is up by 53% in Houston.
because you Harris County and Dallas County are where black voters are concentrated, right? And if you look at Harris County, which is what I went away to look at, there's a path. There's a huge path because only 65% of the vote is in for Harris County. You're talking about 35% of the vote in a city with millions of people. So she's housed in Dallas, right? Like her seat was in Dallas. But moreover, you have Harris County, and if she wins Harris County, if she goes up by 5 or 10%, she's clinched the race.
Which
So
is
20%
why
we've
still
I
got to.
said,
doesn't.
James, that's why I said all of the analysts, everybody was kind of laughing at me like, it's too early. You're celebrating. They said how Harris County goes, it's how Texas is going to go. Now,
Yep.
interestingly enough, the second county they zeroed in on, Tarrant County, which is what I was talking about. That seat flipped a 30-year-old ruby red state Senate seat. They flipped that. There was another candidate that flipped that red to blue by 14 points, and Trump won in Tarrant County by 17 points. And so I'm just letting you know where the analysts are zeroing in
Oh
on.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah, yeah. No, no.
we're
I'm not disagreeing with you,
yeah.
Michelle. I'm talking about what I went and looked at. The other thing I'd say is, listen, we are going to win the White House. And if Jasmine Crockett is in the US Senator for Texas, then I damn sure expect her to be the Attorney General of the United States in 2028, 29. Like, we've got to see more black women in positions of power in this country if we want this country to look different.
Mm-hmm.
I'm working on pulling some.
In Harris County
Yeah.
compared to the rest of Texas.
So I'm working on pulling some data from the 2024 Senate primary races to try to compare the number of turnout, just to see if that's any indication of, like, at minimum, have more people, because the presidential election isn't going to be a good indication because obviously more people turned out for that, or obviously more people marked that on their ballot. So I'm trying to get a good indication of what that primary looked like during that Senate race that year. But also I will say Williamson County, still no reporting, so that's also another thing. But I'm going to share that in just a minute because I have the numbers on the Republican side, but I don't have the numbers on the Democratic side yet. So I'll get back with you in just a sec.
Let me read this. I want to see what you guys think. This is again from this board that I monitor. This guy says, "I'm happy I picked Tallarico to win. This is my prediction, and it turned out correct. Crockett ultimately got what she needed with black turnout and even Latino voters. What did her in was that the Democratic primary electorate has gotten significantly more white, suburban, and affluent. The electorate she was trying to win over was completely different to how it used to be. Places like Williamson, Collin, and Denton used to not be worth anything in Democratic primaries, but now they're playing a big role." What do y'all think about that, the Texas people? How do you feel about that?
I used to live in Williamson County. They're not lying. That is the classic suburban. Hey, I'm wearing my Lulu yoga pants and I'm driving my big Denali and I'm stopping off at Starbucks to get my latte. That is Williamson County, 1000%.
Also, you mentioned earlier about University Park, Highland Park, Smitty. You mentioned those.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Mm-hmm.
the
Mm-hmm.
exact same. That's the exact same demographic.
That same
It's like,
demographic. I got you.
yeah,
Okay.
But
very, very,
do you
yeah.
guys feel that as Democrats, we need those suburban YT soccer moms to jump over to our ship also? Because I feel like a lot of them wouldn't have voted like this if we didn't see what has happened in the last 3 months of this year. You know what I mean? Like let's be real. Denton, a lot of these, like Denton, it's a really surprised me because I spent a lot of time in Denton. That's one of my major stops on the way down. And in the last 10 years, it has changed by thousands of people. It has became a hub. In other words, like a lot of new, like anybody who's from that area knows Denton has doubled in size probably. And I think it's important that we don't alienate those voters and make sure that they know that, hey, you know what, it's okay, vote for who you feel as long as they're blue. Because we're at a WAR with this other side, and we can't pretend like we don't need everybody that we can get. You know what I mean?
But that's the thing. That's the gerrymandering. They're safe in their own little area, and they're not the white women who are Republican and are safe. That's the gerrymandering. That's part of it. You seclude them, make them feel safe, and they can they can rule if they want. But it's trying to integrate in with them and convince them this isn't good. But that's really hard because they're safe.
I'm calculating some numbers right now. While I'm getting these numbers, I do want to call out my community right now. Well, part of my community, because my natives usually come through, my Latinos not so much. I'm really extremely disappointed in y'all, and this is exactly why, even though, like I tell y'all all the time, my personal ethos is Black and brown unity, I absolutely understand why members of the Black community, specifically women, don't trust it, because y'all had an assignment, and you I don't know the numbers yet. I won't know the full breakdown of gender and race and ethnicity, but I'm really pissed at y'all that you couldn't show up for Jasmine, and this is exactly why Black women don't trust unity with our community. Like, and I'm always gonna be about business, but y'all really disappointed me. And when you look surprised when people are cautious about whether they can trust you or not, this is exactly why. Y'all really, I'm mad.
So real quick, so Greg Cesar, chair of the House Progressive Caucus in Tejano, says he just tweeted, James Tallarico is the future of the Democratic Party. He unites working people of all kinds to take on the billionaires who are making life unaffordable. He's going to show Texas Republicans how powerful working people are when we stand together. So, I mean, he's definitely talking like Tallarico's won this.
That's my sentiment.
Wait,
That's
wait,
how
wait, wait, wait,
that's what I
wait,
get from
wait,
too.
wait. Who said that?
Greg Cesar?
Greg
Interesting.
Casar.
Cesar, sorry,
He
Cesar.
pronounces it. Yeah, he pronounces it Casar.
Cesar.
Is he
Cesar.
Latino?
Yes.
Yes.
Well,
Okay.
and
Hey,
Chair of the
Shannon,
House.
he
Okay.
pronounces his name incorrectly, then he's already a coconut, and I don't care.
Okay. Well, hold on. So this is going to be, you mark my words. This is going to be the conversation. I promise you, going forward. Right? Listen. Oh my goodness. It's going to be like 2024 on steroids. It's going to be 2024 on steroids, the conversation after this election, right? Because you can't, this is not Republican versus Democrat, where we can go, this is a clear, delineation between ideologies. Their ideologies are almost identical. Their ideologies are almost identical. And we all know what the differences are between the two. The numbers coming out, who broke for Tallarico versus Jasmine Crockett when it's identical. Yeah.
So I have the numbers. Okay. So in 2024, during the Senate primaries, there was a turnout for the Republican primary of 2,239,958. There was a turnout for the Democratic Party of only 967,503. So, even though I'm not liking the numbers for Jasmine, I do find that interesting that there has been a significant jump in people voting in the Democratic primary, well, both primary, since that year. So I'm trying to look at other pictures because I'm pissed right now. So I don't know what people think about that, but I thought that that was something interesting. I'm going to compare those to the numbers I have so far.
I appreciate y'all having me up, but I gotta go kick my kids' butts because they're not in bed yet. So y'all have a very, very good night. and,
Absolutely, Tess. No, thank you for
and
coming up. I appreciate you.
thank you for having me. And, you know, turn Texas blue. Yay.
All right, thank you, Tess. Appreciate you.
Bye bye.
Bye.
So we've already surpassed on the Democratic side that number significantly. So like I said, in the 2024 Senate Democratic primary, it was only 967,503 votes. We're not even finished counting, and we're already at 1,529,314 votes. So yeah, I was
The
curious.
energy is there.
Yeah, I was curious as to what you guys think about that, what that says, even though, like I said, I'm mad about Jasmine not having better numbers right now. But what do you guys think about that?
Vote. Like, people are gonna sleep on us until, like, right now it's gonna be for about a week, 2 weeks. Hopefully, it'll end. It's gonna be the black versus brown conversation, which is dumb.
Well, no, I
But
don't mean
no. But
about
I
that
think
part
that's
yet.
I
I
think that's
know.
what the numbers are. I think that's why the numbers are so different. Is because the brown vote was activated with the aggression that we've seen against our community, and a lot of coconuts are feeling like they're at victims now. All of a sudden, when they didn't, they thought everything was gonna be nice and pretty over there, and now
Thank you,
that it isn't.
Tess.
Now they're like, oh, this is crazy. We need to do something. Hopefully they hopefully, God, I don't even want to say it. Hopefully bad things keep happening so that we stay
Well,
focused
let's
on what
not
the
say
goal
that.
is. Well, I know, but at the end of the day, this is what caused us to be uprised. Like, back in December, you knew how Latinos were feeling. They were feeling very red. And now they're like, oh, hold up, wait a minute. But the thing is, Tejanos are not committed to either one. That's why if they're going to show out, they're going to show out. If they're not, they're not. They don't have this weird, what's the word, kinship to one side or the other. So I'm very interested to see what the number. I'm very interested to see what these numbers turn out to be, because if there's a lot of Latino voters coming out for the blue, it's going to be very interesting in the other states.
So the Democratic voters right now have over like about a 200,000 more votes than the Republicans, whereas they had a significant undercount. So I mean, and that's what I was trying to get at. Like, regardless of who they voted for in the Democratic primary this year. Whoa, what's happening right now? Regardless of who they voted for in the Democratic primary, which I'm trying not to focus on because I'm mad, but it is very interesting that it is such a significant jump. So I do think that probably is a factor. I'm wondering if, and Nichelle, maybe you can speak more to it, but like maybe if the gerrymandering and them feeling like their votes are, being compromised, whatever the case may be, what are the factors that are really driving them out and finally showing up in this on the Democratic side of the primary this time around?
Michelle, you're on mute for speaking. And then we'll go to
Oh, I'm sorry. Was that
Marianne.
question what was the question? I'm sorry, I was
So-
watching the news.
No, you're good. Okay, so let me just like recap what I have on the numbers. So in 2024, during this exact type of primary, the Senate primary, the Republican primary turned out 2,239,958 votes. The Democratic primary only turned out 967,503 votes. Didn't even break a million. So far, where we're at tonight, the Republican primary has 1,389,757 votes, and the Democratic primary has 1,529,314. So not only are the Democrats outvoting the Republicans right now, they have dramatically come out compared to when they came out in 2024. So I'm like thinking about like the factors that are driving people. I'm sure immigration and like everything that's happened with ICE is one. I'm wondering if gerrymandering, like, what are your thoughts about how there are so many more people voting in the Democratic primary this time around than last time?
So, sis, I
great-
have a
great
question for you.
Great question. hang on one second, Vanna.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
no,
My phone's like acting up. My
no,
bad.
you're okay. The app's been glitchy. Great question. So I was watching the analysis talking about that, and Dallas County is going to be a problem, unfortunately, and it's really really disappointing because so many people turned out to vote. And again, they're highlighting Dallas County right now, on at least on this channel. I think part of it is ICE. I think part of it also is knowing that the redistricting in Texas really pissed a lot of people off, right? The redrawing of the maps. And so we already have, like, I've been screaming this from the rooftop since last year. We have a problem with voter apathy, and that voter apathy stems from voter suppression. And I think more people were just, sick of it and just decided to make sure that their voices were heard. What I am going to be watching for is what is the breakdown of those numbers who decided to come up and vote. If they are more Latino, for sure, immigration is driving that.
Yeah.
ICE and immigration is driving that for sure. Because again, when you look at the voting bloc of the Black community, we are historically a very reliable bloc, right? That was part of the critique and the anger toward the Democratic Party, is that we were always taken advantage of, right? We're taken for granted, rather, right? We know Black people are always going to show up for the most part and come out and vote. That was kind of the thinking, like, hey, you need to pay attention to us. My gut is telling me is that the jump we're going to see is in the Latino vote, and I think we all know why.
So real quick,
Question. I'm sorry.
give me 1 second, Panda. I apologize, and I'm gonna bring you in. So the app is very glitchy. I got a restriction for something. I'm not gonna say what they said I did, but I definitely did not do what they said I did. So the app is very glitchy. So just please, panelists, I'm just asking y'all to just be careful, mindful, because the app is glitchy. Go ahead, Panda.
So Carolina and Michelle, I have a question. How many of that increase that you just explained to us were actually independents that didn't vote in the last primary? And I'm asking this specifically because what I'm suspecting is that, and this is why Black women, I think, are very frustrated. What I want to know is, did any of those that increase of the vote that you talk about, was that significantly Latinos who had previously voted red and decided suddenly to vote blue in the primaries, or was that just undecided independent voters who didn't vote last time and were turned off by immigration and the tariffs and decided to show up to the primaries? Because what I don't understand is why would you choose a white man? Like, this is boggling my mind here. Like, you still chose, you chose a white man. You picked a white man. You still picked proximity to whiteness. So
Yeah.
so let me just clarify this and make sure I'm just like presenting this correctly. Did the people who voted, did the Latinos who voted red in the last primary, did they switch over to blue in this primary, or are those independent voters?
I don't
To
think
answer
we'll
your
know
question,
yet.
yeah, we don't know
Yeah, go
yet.
ahead, Michelle.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know yet. We don't, and we probably won't know. Gosh, Smitty, the last time we did this in 2024, we got breakdowns of, like, by counties, but we didn't
Mm-hmm.
know much in terms of exit polling, true
Mm-hmm.
exit polling, for a couple of weeks. So we won't know.
Mm-hmm.
We won't know for a couple of weeks, to be honest with you, sis. So
And
I mean,
I had
it's
a
a great
second
question, but I
part to
don't know.
that. I had a
Yeah, go ahead.
second part to that. And it's not just the Latinos that I'm concerned about, because somebody just brought up white tea women. White women are the swing vote in this country, and I just want to remind you, white leftist women are actually right winged. I really need us to stop expecting things from white leftist women that they're never going to give us. And they're part of the reason why we're in the position that we're in now. And I really need us to stop trying to have this unity with white leftist women. It's never going to happen. It's causing issues. And so I also am wondering how many of those Talarico votes are white leftist women who, again, just cannot bring themselves to vote for a black woman. And to answer your question, Nomar, why is picking white a problem? Because we're here because of white tea supremacy, and another candidate was a black woman, and 92% of black women batted 1,000 last election season. And not only did we call what was going to happen if that man became president, we got the timeline right. So I just thought and assumed that if you're a minority, voting for a white tea man what I thought would have put everybody off, especially based off of the last year that we had, which is again why black women are frustrated, because why are we still picking white men?
I agree completely
Well, I
with
can
that.
speak from the Latin point of view. We don't
Well,
vote based.
hold on, Junior, 1 second, because there's a comment in the chat, and like Jayco, like I know that you're a Talarico guy, but here's my thing. This rhetoric about calling her an APAC like funded corporate centrist, like there's still no founding to that, and I am so tired of it. And this is exactly the type of smear campaign that has led us to where we are tonight and why her numbers are not higher. Literally, we just gave a breakdown. He outspent her 24 million to 3 million, and y'all are still trying to paint her as like taking all of this money. And she also did not take APAC money. Mind you, he did take money from a sponsor who is extremely pro-Israel. So like, you know, it's just I'm kind of sick of it at this point. I'm sorry. I'm a pause. I'm mad.
Thank
Okay,
you,
can
sis.
we take a let's take a break for a second here. So the race has not been called. We don't know what the numbers are yet. Dallas County has some issues. We know that, but from early voting, you know, from what we can see, she leads by a significant lead. Okay, so let's see what Dallas County does. Williamson County, which is just north of Travis County, that's North Austin. They're not reporting yet. Okay, and okay, so and even Talarico is not their camp is not willing to call anything yet. We don't have any information from the exit polls, so we're all just kind of guesstimating at this point. So we don't know what the breakdown is yet. We don't know what the breakdowns of the numbers are. I think it's a valid conversation for us to have for sure, and to kind of critique and all of that if he wins. But we're nowhere, like no news outlet yet. I know Smitty was reading off of some threads and things that he was following where people are calling it, but we just don't know yet. So I just wanted to put that in there. And yes, I know Williamson County is predominantly white tea, suburban white tea to be exact, wealthy, I would say. Not millionaires, but definitely upper middle class for sure. I used to live there. So I know that. But we don't know what the numbers are yet.
Isn't this kind of what happened with Kamala though? Like early voting said that she was going to win. We were looking at even the breakdown in Pennsylvania, right? We were breaking down the voter registration numbers, and it just like, and then suddenly it was like boom. So like that's why I'm concerned, because again, I remember I called this 2 weeks ago. I said that actually more than 2 weeks ago, right, Carolina? For the past 2 months, I've been screaming that the same behavior patterns and voting patterns that I witnessed back in the presidential election, I'm noticing has not budged at all when we're talking about this election. And that is why I myself am concerned, and I think other people are concerned, because it's just matching. I don't know how you feel about it, Schmitty. I don't know how you feel about it, Michelle or Carolina, but I just feel like it's just so similar to me, which is why I don't have faith in the midterms.
Yeah,
Yeah, I thought
oh,
that,
sorry, go ahead, Betty.
real quick. Yeah, Panda, to your point, at least from the numbers perspective, to me, this race is almost identical to 2024. Even the numbers I was crunching with election day turnout and trends towards Jasmine and in the counties even that she won, you can see the ED election day vote. The margins aren't where the early voting vote were. So and again, Michelle is right. We should wait until all the data comes out. At the same time, some of these counties, the margins that Tallarico is winning is very, very telling that most likely, and again, we'll wait, but most likely he overperformed, excuse me, with the Latino vote and probably overperformed with white suburban Democrats too. Now, how much we don't know. What the margin of those are, we don't know. Will he even win? It looks likely, but we don't know. But that all, there's a lot of data that we have right now that looks very, very certain that that's what's going on.
Here's what we do know. We do know that on the Republican side, it's a runoff. We
Yep.
do know that. That's been called. We know it.
Yep.
So that runoff will be in May, I believe it is for Texas. I'll have to check on that. That is what we do know. So even if we determine or don't determine the winner tonight, we don't know what Democratic candidate's going to be going against, like what Republican candidate will be going up against, right? To answer your question, of course I'm frustrated. The second that she announced last fall, we saw the same rhetoric, we saw the same, accusations of AIPAC, we saw the same exact things dragging her. Well, I just don't think she's electable. I literally earlier on this live talked about an exit poll interview that was done where he felt this voter felt like that Tallarico had a better chance, in the fall, and that's why this person voted for him. So yeah, I completely understand that. I do want to just do a mod announcement really quick. There are 353 people hanging out with us tonight during this watch party. Obviously, we're going over the Texas primary elections. And 60 shares only. So if you guys could share out the live, that would be phenomenal. If you have not grabbed your daily heart me, please click on the orange heart by Smitty's name. Follow him, follow the panel, gift the panel, help Smitty reach his live goals. We've got 2 more money guns left. Thank you, Denise, for doing that. Thank you guys for sharing. I'm sorry, go ahead, Smitty.
Yeah. That's why I got restricted. Not your fault, though. So thank you for everything that you guys are doing. Let's just put it that way. I don't know. The app is very glitchy and very sensitive tonight. So I'm hoping that we're able to stay on. But I appreciate that, Nichelle. It's just the app is very, very odd tonight. So if you see me not necessarily being as gracious as I normally am when y'all do certain things, just know that's the reason, okay? So real quick, we have Marianne Maria. I hope I'm saying your name right. Did you want to speak about what's going on in Texas, your perspective? I don't know if you meant to request. And if you did, you should be able to unmute. Okay, I'm going to drop you. Thank you. Appreciate you. All right. So no problem, Jen. I appreciate you, fam. So again, I think we're going to learn more in the upcoming days. The election the results have not been called, but we're going to learn more about what's going on tonight in Texas. I mean, I think this is very, very. It's a very, very important race, no matter what. So, yeah.
What happened to Panda?
She'd be right back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I mean, her lead, or not her lead, but her numbers did jump up a little bit. So it's 51.6 to 47.1 now.
Yep.
Yeah, I was just getting ready to say Wilco should be reporting here soon, and so we will really probably get a better feel from where we are tonight. And Smitty, thank you so much for hosting this live. This has been great. Appreciate you doing it.
Absolutely. I may have to end soon, but if so, Nichelle, I'm hoping you can pick up the mantle.
Yep. I'm already ready.
Go live. Okay, cool.
I'm already ready because I'm
Good.
gonna be up. I'm gonna wait and see, my friend.
I know. I'm just a little concerned with what's going on with the app. Yeah, absolutely, Shantae. Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it. everybody that's been here, everybody that's come through. Much appreciated. The panelists have been incredible tonight, breaking down the numbers, giving their perspectives. It's been very, very interesting. And all the folks from Texas, shout out to all the folks from Texas that participated, came out, that voted. Much love to you guys. I appreciate y'all. I love me, the state of Texas. And I will be in DFW pretty soon. So for y'all folks that are in the Metroplex, I will be there soon as well. So,
Stay back. Stay back.
Poppins in the chat for DFW.
Oh Lord, this is a different crowd. They haven't even heard that story yet. So, but H Town way better than the DFW, my boy. You sleep. Hey, I've been to H Town too. Much love to H Town, no doubt about it. Okay. So yeah, I'm probably gonna end, y'all. So Nichelle, if you can pick up the mantle, I would appreciate it. Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Thanks for having me up, Smitty.
Yeah,
It's the first time I met
absolutely.
you.
Make sure y'all,
But
Nichelle, and go to her. I'll be over there in a few minutes. All right.
make sure you guys keep an eye on that Latino vote. I'm telling you guys, it's going to change the way that the United States is voting this next election. I'm telling you.
I'm
It's
so
gonna
mad
be-
at you.
Trust me,
It's
we'll be
interesting.
watching. Trust
It's
me,
going
we'll
to
be
be
watching.
different because a lot of people are please don't vote for just because of race, guys. Like that's going to push a lot of people away. That's why you see such swings with the Latino group communities. We don't see an alliance to either side, honestly. And
Don't speak for all of us, please.
you can say that, but I'm talking about
I will
as a
say
whole.
that. I
As
will
a whole,
All
absolutely
right.
say
I
that.
know how.
I gotta go. I got another.
All
I
right.
got another
Real quick.
thing, guys. I got
Okay,
See you tomorrow.
I'm going live. Okay,
Okay.
bye.
With like 3 times to 16 too. I should be